Okay, just a final thing here. A little bit of further reading, articles to check out, and some exercises if you want to go down that route. Mentioned this book, Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Pretty complex, big book. Anything that wins the Nobel Prize is probably going to be hard reading for any of us ordinary people, but lots of good stuff in here, not just about the Avi side of things, but also just how we operate in this world. A little easier to read, ostrich paradox. As humans, we underprepare for disasters. We have what we call the optimism bias. It's not going to happen to me. It happened 100 years ago. It won't happen tomorrow. I was thinking about this today, reading background on the Colorado River and the water situation there. How, yes, it should have been fixed a couple of years ago, many years ago. Now we're looking at maybe 2 years of water left in it. I've mentioned the evaluator from Avalanche Canada. It's used in the training programs there. And this is the textbook for those programs. I think it's better than any of the basic ones available in the US. It's a modern book, has a lot of case studies, and it's more up to date than a lot of the US ones. So if you are getting the evaluator, this is a good one here to also get at the same time. Save on shipping, right? US book published by the Mountaineers. Bruce Tremper is one of the authorities, and this is a good one for practical tips on how to survive in the backcountry and understanding more about avalanche phenomena. If you're more of a science person and more of an avalanche nerd or an avalanche nerd wannabe, Avalanche Handbook, we use this as the textbook for our level 2 programs. It's the classic, and it gets into the snow science in much more depth than we have ever gotten into here. If those are too much for you and you want something you can just put in the pack, both of these are good. Ed LaChapelle is one of the great grandfathers of avalanche evaluation mitigation in the US. Jill Fredstone and Doug Fessler, both from Alaska. SnowSense uses more sort of a green light, red light system for evaluating things. Both of these are quick reads. You can put them in your pack and you can refer to them when you're out there. If you want a little bit more detail from Jill Fredstone about her career as an avalanche forecaster in Alaska, this is well worth looking into. It's good reading and good background on avalanche phenomena. A few more exercises if you want. This is from Avalanche Canada, yet again, route finding exercise. You'll have a photo, you'll start at the bottom, you'll go to the top, you'll pick a route, and the program will give you a thumbs up, a thumbs down, a applause, or So builds on what we've talked about. Route finding and evaluation is key, and this is something you can do from the comfort of your own home here. Human Factors article written by Dave Page, a local writer here, gets into what we've talked about as well as more. There's an awful lot going on here, as I've mentioned, not just for avalanche, but also life in general. Quickie one here, just punch in New York Times, test your problem solving. Minute, 30 seconds maybe. It goes ahead and looks at what's called confirmation bias. So take a look at that if you're interested. I referenced the accident at Tunnel Creek in Washington a number of years ago. This is a fairly lengthy article. It looks into everything that went on there. It was a number of people added on, the party got bigger, everybody was good skiers, boarders, everybody assumed somebody else was evaluating the hazard, and people died in this accident. It was also one where an airbag was used for the first time and really saved somebody. The woman there was rescued from it, and she was wheeled out by a number of manufacturers, or the manufacturer of her bag, as a spokesperson for them, which I think was fairly unfair on her. Another Canadian one here, rescue at Cherry Bowl. This is a good, again, analysis, looking at accidents we talked about in terms of understanding or figuring out if we would have made the same mistakes. So another good one here for you to find and look at. And finally, I've watched this video a number of times, put in YouTube, a dozen more terms, it's available there. There's a lot of videos out there looking at avalanches, and some of them have the pounding rock track, all sorts of cutesy graphics and so on. This one doesn't. However, it does look at the consequences of making a bad decision. One of the people involved in this was a snow scientist studying at Montana State University. He was doing a doctorate in surface haul, basically, near surface processes. He knew more than any of us, probably, but him and his group made a basic mistake. They didn't do what they said they were going to do. They kept on kicking up slope higher and higher just to get a dozen more turns. And things went bad. And there's a lot of fallout ramifications from it. I've watched this a number of times, and it still leaves an impact. It's a difficult video, I think, in a lot of ways to watch. So those are the reference ones that, if you're interested, take a look at. I can send these out to you via email later, or if you want to follow up on it, please just go ahead and ask. So thanks again for coming, and I look forward to seeing you in the mountains sometime soon and in the snow. Be safe, enjoy the earth.